Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine. We're on episode 291. Shout out to me in this pajama top. Let me give it a fuck when I come on here, huh? I mean, look, what you see is what you get. I really am loving my hair today. With natural hair, it's good for the first day. Tomorrow morning, we'll see how it looks. We'll see how it looks. We'll see how my hair looks once I take it off the bonnet. But shout out to me. I look great. I feel great. My birthday's coming up. I am an Aquarius baby, as I've mentioned on the last episode. Birthday is on February 5th, and I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm just getting to the money. Everybody, man. Hey, I'll be getting to the money. No, I truly don't have anything planned and I'm totally fine with it unless something happens spontaneously and I'll give you an update. But I'm truly fine. I didn't want to do anything like I did 2 years because last year I didn't do anything still. I didn't do anything still. The year prior, I did do something. I went out and had a ball at that. What it was like this 3D gaming area. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really desire to do much. I think as you get older, I'll be 33, you guys. Yeah, I have to think about it. Yeah, 30, the big 3-3. But yeah, I think as you get older, you just realize I don't want to say it's not a big deal. I just feel like it's not as a big deal as it once was. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be here and well, despite the life normal things that typically, we all experience the bills, the responsibilities, working, having to work. It's just, aside from those things, I am really grateful to be here, to be recording, to be on this podcast with you all. And I'm just happy to still be here. I think about a time in my life when I wasn't as grateful or I wasn't as in awe of life as I could have been. So to be here right now and to be just in a good headspace, I am so thankful for. So that's really what I am on right now. I don't need a big shindig or anything like that. Eventually, if I do want to celebrate or do something later on, I can. It's all my choice. But yeah, I think as you get older, like I said, I think as you get older, it's just not as a big deal as it once was. Just be grateful you're alive. Be grateful you're well. You have all of your senses. You have a roof over your head. You have a job. You're doing well. Despite how much you may think how much I sometimes think I'm behind, because sometimes I kind of give myself a hard time, but then you sit back and you realize, no, I'm doing pretty fine. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm grateful for life as it is. I'm grateful for the love in my life. I'm grateful for the experiences that I have and what's yet to come. So shout out to everybody. I had fun. But let's get into these topics. Let's get into these topics. I want to play this clip. This clip may be a drop on my podcast moving forward because when I tell you I kikied, my God, today it is so hilarious. And let me see if I can find it because I thought I saved it over here. Okay, there we go. Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody who has been subscribing as of recently. Look at me. I am at 106 subscribers. No, when I tell you I am at a loss, I know this is like so little in comparison to all of the many other YouTubers out here, but there was a time when I was just at 12 and I was like, well, I guess it's just gonna be me and the 12, me and the disciples. And I was actually kind of fine with it. I think at the time I just accepted it as just my fate. But since I decided, I think just last year or at least a year and a half ago, I decided to take my YouTube channel seriously. I decided to really put in the energy into making sure the content is how I need it to be, continuously learning and growing and applying different changes. I really put a lot of energy into it, and I'm still putting a lot of energy into it. I'm still studying and seeing what is working, what is trending, what's not, and just making adjustments as I go. So I'm just so thankful. Like I think I've just been in this great gratitude bag, but I'm just so thankful that I'm at 106. And maybe I think low for myself, but like when I tell you, I just didn't really have much of an energy thinking I would get here. Like I'm just super because literally that means I went from 12 to 13 to 14 to 15. Like I'm grateful for every single body. Everybody. So shout out to everybody. I am having fun. I am grateful for the engagement. Just all of y'all are just so great. So shout out to you guys for your support. This is a love project, I would say. Something that I started when I felt like I wasn't hearing what I needed to hear out loud. I feel like a lot of people weren't talking as much as they needed to. And I needed to be the voice. It's me. You've nominated me. Anyway, but yes, now we at 106. We're growing, baby. We're growing. Next thing you know, we'll be at 500. Next thing you know, we're at 1,000, then 5,000. Like we are moving this train along. So yes, let's get into this. Okay, there is this video that I came across of this show called Baddies East. Now, this show is basically Bad Girls Club 3.0 or just 2024 edition. It's now, it's modernized. I was a BGC fan back then, and I had no business being 13, 14 years old watching girls or young women at the time actually fight on TV every week nonstop. But when I tell you I was glued to that Oxygen channel, which is no longer hilarious to me.
Stink. You look like you stink.
I'm sorry.
You need to know who your real friends are.
So tell me.
Me. Why you need
That's
to know?
why
Need to know.
I know that. I know that. That's why I said just leave me alone.
Harassing me.
That's why I said just leave me alone.
Okay, so I wish I could like pause it. Oh yeah, duh. Not me being silly. Okay, let me pause it right there. So Sukiana, I've talked about her before. She's an interesting character. How do I describe her? I mean, she's ratchet as hell. She's ratchet as hell. Ghetto, just pussy popping in your face type of girl. She's entertaining. I have yet to watch a full episode of Baddies East. I guess they can't use Bad Girls Club anymore because that is under a certain name that can't be touched anymore. So a new edition of Bad Girls Club is Baddies East or Baddies West, depending on where they're filming for that season. So, excuse me. Okay, cool. So Sukiana, she is a rapper. a star on the reality show Love and Hip Hop, I think Miami season. And she also is known for her raunchy content. I don't think she's necessarily a porn star, but she actually is. She has porn content. Let me say corn. Sorry, YouTube, that bullshit. But she has content. Okay, that type of content. And I definitely seen her pussy. Okay. I mean, let's just be honest. I gotta Google and find out. And I Googled and found out. Hello? And I just want to say something about pussies. I just want to say something about vaginas, black vaginas in detail. I want to give an appreciation, a shout out to vaginas that look like mine. Is this too much? Is the mic on? Hello? I appreciate vaginas that are represented accordingly. There is no reason why there's only one aesthetic type of vagina out here. No, I want to see black vulvas only. And so Sukihana represents that. I see me and her in that context. But shout out to her. Anyway, so if you just go down Twitter or X, you'll see what I'm talking about. Shout out to her. She's in this clip, so she's a part of the cast for this season at least. And so is Mariah Lynn. Mariah Lynn is actually from Love and Hip Hop, I think the New York season. And she has a song, I forget the I was a hoe and I was feeling it. I was a hoe. I forgot how it started off, but how it starts off, but it's something like that. So she's this white girl who, I don't know, she is black identified. I don't know how she identifies herself, but she is a white girl who is trying her hardest to be the stereotypical black image that we see on TV that may not always be a valid representation, but there are some examples of black girls who do act as such. So let's just be very honest. You know, people be like, what are we talking about? There are no ghetto black girls, or there are no girls who act like that. No black girls who act like, yes, there are. Yes, there are. I grew up with them. Yeah, yes. I knew them from my middle school years, my elementary school years, my high school years, my college. Yes, there are, but there's a diverse range. You know, not all black girls act a certain way. Obviously, we're not a monolith. No one is, no group is. But to say that there are no ghetto black girls is like, girl, hello? Are we not being honest today? Hello? Are we not being honest today? Okay, so let's get into this clip. Now, I don't know what the beef is between them. Again, I haven't been watching the show, and maybe I'll just tune in just because why not? But this is very hilarious to me, and I just had to share. So let's continue.
Leave me alone. Like, this is really some clown shit. I would have never thought that these two girls who kind of had my back in the beginning to now go into this. How you go from helping me get my chain back to beefing with me?
Now, just look at her. Look at Mariah Lynn. Why do you have that on your head? Hello? And again, make sure you are watching this YouTube video because you don't understand what I'm saying until you're looking at what I'm saying. Ma'am, what is this? There's this YouTuber that I follow. That I'm subscribed to. I'm subscribed to her content. I do find her channel or her commentary entertaining. So it is what it is, right? So she posted an image of herself and she said, she's saying happy birthday to herself. And in the photo, you see that she's dressed up. You clearly see the photo is filtered. In the photo, she's wearing this lace front wig, and the lace is glued, like as it should, because that's what a lace front is. It is glued down her head. So much so that it looks like her head is not even shaped properly. Like, it just looks off. And her caption for her photo is 40 wear. 40 wear, as if to say she doesn't look her age, or she doesn't look the typical look of a 40-year-old. Can we just stop that? Ma'am, you're 40 because you're 40. What are you expecting a 40-year-old to look like? That's number one. And number two, you're wearing a wig. You're wearing a lace front wig that is glued down on your head. I could barely see your forehead. Your forehead is gone. It's glued, like it's pressed down against your face, ma'am. And you talking about 40 wear? The photo is filtered. Everything just looks off. And you're clearly not your natural self. So you're making the impression as if you're so young looking, or you just could never look like this 40-year-old typical look, when you're not even looking like yourself, ma'am. Ma'am, you're not looking like yourself. So all I'm saying is, when we get on these social media accounts and we act like we're looking younger than what we are, but we're doing that while we're wearing a head full of hair that's not ours, that's glued onto our head. Like, can I just emphasize that to you guys? It's glued onto your head. You have hair glued onto there's glue on the side of your face. Now, I know I'm coming off like I'm shaming those who's wearing lace front wigs, but maybe I am. Okay, I am. But like, it's glued onto your face. You're acting like you're so natural in this photo, as if it's plausible to you. It's as if it's plausible for you to say 40 wear. Man, 40 is right in my face. You still look your age, or whatever that looks like. But it's just so silly to me. Like, you're playing me for a fool. You're still 40. Regardless of the wig you got glued on your head, regardless of the glue that's dripping down on the side of your face, on your sideburns, regardless of a filter being on the screen of your photo, you're still 40. And that's okay. Like, why are we shaming the age that we're turning? I just look, if I ever get to that point, you guys, please cuss me the heck out. Because I feel like it's so sad that we're in this day and age in which, and this has been a thing for so long. I'm not trying to focus it on our current affairs, but I think now, because lace front wigs are so popular amongst common folks like us, like when lace front wigs, because I don't think it's a new invention for hair. I think it was exclusively for celebrities and those of that upper echelon, not for us common folk, not for us who's just regular people who, so for it to now be something that is easily accessible, I just find it to be so disturbing. I do. I find it to be so disturbing that the person next to me is wearing a whole lace front wig, and you're talking about 40 wear. 40 is right in my face. Hello? You're 40, and that's okay. Like, that's a blessing to be 40. Embrace who you are. Child, it's just the funniest thing. Anyway, so I bring that up because that image of her that she posted as if she was trying to flex looked just like this that I'm showing you guys right now. This lady, Mariah Lynn's look right now. Looking at the glue, the hairline, like, it's just not natural. It looks crazy. How does that look okay to some of y'all? Golly, I have a friend who, she never wore wigs. She never wore wigs at all. Never wore lace front wigs. There's wigs and there's lace front wigs. Lace front wigs are the ones where you will get your edges and the peripheral of your hair, your whole hairline glued on by the wig. How, I don't know. Anyway, that's how it is. That's what lace front is. Okay. This is how you will look at all times. Now, maybe she had a poor installation. Maybe she had just a bad wig magic person do this on her. I don't know. It just looks horrible. Hey, let's continue. I want to get to the part that was super funny.
I don't want a problem with it. Everyone tells me that you keep talking about me. I don't want no problem with you.
They all talk about you.
No, bitch.
That's the problem.
Listen.
I said 3 things.
No. Who talking about? Who talking about? Who talking about? Who talking about?
They all did. They all the girls they got. That's why I'm like,
Pussy asshole, you talking a whole lot of bullshit. Whatever they told you is the truth, and that's what I told you.
Whatever they told you is the truth.
Yeah, they say your pussy stank. Is that the truth?
This was the part. I'm sorry, what? They say your pussy stink. Is that the truth? First of all, how would they know? Is Mariah Lynn gay? Has she had any dealings with any of the women in the house for them to have this judgment on her pussy? Like,
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
and so for somebody to respond like, yes, it does. Yes, it do. Like, ma'am, yo, when I tell you I laughed my ass off.
Yes, it do. It's crazy. You so mad that somebody said that your coochie stink. It looked like it stank. You look like you stink. Mine stank and it's still gonna get egg. It's still gonna get egg. It's still gonna.
Okay, that was all I wanted to show. Okay, that's the end of this episode. Y'all have a good one. It's like, like what? Oh my gosh. Can we win? Women, can we win? Oh, your pussy stank. She's talking about no, it doesn't. She said yes, it does. Is everybody okay? Oh, okay. The color purple. Let's talk about it. The color purple. Now, it's hilarious to me how everyone who's talked about it were surprised that it is a musical. When in the trailer, you see them breaking out into song every 2 minutes. Like, how is it surprising that's a musical? What are we talking about? It literally said it. It shows it. It said it. Like, it's obvious that it's a musical. One thing about musicals, I feel like sometimes it's cool, but sometimes it's like, what are we doing? Are we on Broadway? Anyway, The Color Purple, considering that it's such a heavy movie, like it's not a movie that you will watch. Oh, let's just watch on this Friday night. No, I'm not watching The Color Purple. I feel like the only time I'm watching The Color Purple is if I'm analyzing it for a class. If I am doing a literary analysis based on Alice Walker's book, The Color Purple, and then we watch the film to see how the adaptation flows, that's the only time I'm watching The Color Purple. But like, I'm not watching it as a date night. What are we doing? No, I'm not watching it. And maybe they thought, oh, because it's a musical now, that people will be more attracted to watching it. Absolutely not. No, I don't want to watch it. So I wasn't trying to watch it anyway, and I haven't. I've seen the original. I think I read the book also. Maybe I read parts of it, but I definitely know what the story's about. I know that nothing changed from what I'm learning. Nothing changed in it. But I guess some people never watched it, or some people didn't realize that it's the same story, but this time it's just a musical, because Boozy decided to share out loud his disdain for the lesbian scene between Suge and Whoopi. I know Color Purple from back then. So Whoopi Goldberg is the Fantasia character. So Boozy, he's known for being very public and open and vocal about his, I hate to use the word homophobic, but it is what it is. But anyway, he uses a lot of language around homophobia. And in that scene, you see Suge and so Taraji P. Henson's character with Fantasia's character, they have a moment in which they kiss. If you remember the book actually goes into detail and they tell you how not only do they kiss, but they actually make love. Okay, cool. So Boozy, I guess he didn't know about that. Maybe he forgot. Maybe he never watched the original. Maybe he never read the book. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he was so upset by it. And he said that he watched the movie with his daughter, one of his daughters, because he has two, and walked out during that scene because he thought that was inappropriate and they're trying to push this gay agenda onto him. Well, yeah, just onto people, and he's obviously taking it personal. Now, look, is there a gay agenda? Absolutely. Yes, there is. I mean, we don't have to be homophobic to say that. Absolutely. There's a lot of agendas out here, but to deny that there is not a gay agenda is tomfoolery. So that's one. Is this a gay agenda film? No. It's not. It's a part of the story that was already in the story from the beginning. It's not like, I feel like if it was never in the story and it was just added onto it, you know how like the trans agenda was a thing for quite some time. If they suddenly added a trans character and some type of love story between a transgender, indeed. No, but between a transgender and a regular person, whatever, then that is an agenda. Then that was purposely put in place to rile up some type of response and controversy. That's something different. But being that this lesbian scene was already in the beginning, from the beginning of the movie, from the genesis of the movie, Boozy, like, cut it out, man. I feel like he probably is getting paid. He's getting some type of sponsor to continue to say the same type of rhetoric of his feelings about, or his alleged feelings. I don't know if it's all the way true, but I don't really feel like he's being all the way honest with us, because I think he just does it for outrageous reactions. Because, you know, there's a currency in outrage. There's a currency in being a victim. There's a currency in being outraged. And those two are the top two currencies that we have in our time, especially on social media. If you're not showing outrage, or if you're not showing how much you're a victim and you need support that is financial, like the brick lady, how she came on social media talking about she got hit with a brick. She never did anything to deserve that. And I didn't give this man my number. And that's why he hit me with a brick. That is all for us to rally with her and give her our money, because how dare this make-believe man hit her with a brick? Because first she said it was a rock and that was a brick. And then come to find out it wasn't any of that. It was an allergic reaction. And she wrung that towel to figure out, how can I make this into a victimhood and get some money? And which she did. She got $40,000 for it. So I say all that to say there's currency in this. So I think Boozy is publicly showing his disapproval about homosexuality as a way for him to get some money. I don't think he's all that upset with it as he is letting on, because his other daughter is actually a lesbian. Okay? and she's a masculine presenting lesbian. She's one of those. So it's like, what happened in your household? But I don't think he actually raised her. You know the story. And so the color purple flopped. I say all this to say the color purple flopped. It started off strong. I guess strong as it could, or considering the time, because it came out on Christmas Day. So The Color Purple, a film adaptation of the stage musical, surpassed box office expectations with an 18 million domestic opening, the largest on Christmas Day in over a decade, before falling to 7 million gross on day 2 and 3.8 million by the third day. Now, you may think, oh, well, it's not bad, right? It started off as the largest on Christmas Day in over a decade. People just be making shit up. No, it didn't. In over a decade, there was not another movie out that made just as much, if not more, on Christmas Day in over a decade. Yeah, right. And for it to fall so drastically literally the next day, and then the third day even more drastically, that means it was never high up in the earning as they're trying to let on. What are we talking about? For its first full weekend in theaters from December 29th to New Year's Eve, the movie grossed 13 million across 3 days and saw a 74.1% earnings drop from its first Monday to January 1st. Okay? That is not great. Ma'am, that's not great. And why is that? My theory is, I think the story in this day and age, first, I don't think this movie needed to be readapted. I don't think it needed to come back again in a musical. It just was silly. It was silly. It was silly. There's no need for us to see Taraji break out into song. We know Fantasia could sing, don't get me wrong, and Halle and sure, yada 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 yada. But I don't want to hear you break out into song after you were raped. Hello? I don't want to hear you into song after you had your first lesbian kiss. Hello? It just doesn't, it's not fitting to the tone of the movie. That's one. Well, that was two. And I just think the rollout of this movie was interesting and not in a good way. I say that because Taraji was very vocal, very honest, very straightforward about her condition as a Black actress in Hollywood for 20 years now. She has not been getting the proper treatment, the proper pay as she should have. And, initially I came on here talking about, okay, Taraji, boo-hoo, you're rich and you're still crying. Boo, like, ooh, like, girl, bye. But I came back on here and was like, maybe she has a point. Maybe she has a point. When we are in different levels, we can only see from our own level sometimes, but there's different battles that you experience in every level that you're in. So I think her battle is absolutely valid. I think she is deserving of what she says she is or has been missing out on. So hopefully that could be situated in a way that works best. But ultimately, this movie sucked. It sucked. It sucked, and it wasn't attracting to the audience. It's not a feel-good movie you will watch during the holidays. So maybe the timing was off too. Maybe they should have picked another weekend to do it, not on Christmas Day. I really think they thought, oh, because there's singing involved, people will flock. When au contraire, absolutely not. Au contraire. So, I mean, there's that. There's some conspiracy theories going around talking about how Taraji and Oprah are not in good standing. There's some tension between them. So this is all alleged, of course, but according to a lot of TikTok videos and investigation that has been put together, it looks like it's true. It looks like there's some tension between Taraji and Oprah. You know, so Taraji was also open about the treatment that she received and that the other ladies received, but she was the vocal point. She was the voice for them because she was the eldest. She was the one who had more time in Hollywood than them. So people saw her as a big sis. And she played as such. So I think with all of that being said, she probably put her foot in her mouth, and Oprah wasn't too keen on that. Oprah was not having that. Like, why are you telling other people how we are doing things here on this set? You know, so what? We don't feed you guys. So what? You have to rent your own car to get to point A to point B. So what? Huh? You're lucky to be here. I think that is the underlying tone for this type of production and the people involved. And it's unfortunate, but when you are the whistleblower, when you are the one speaking out over maltreatment, you will get blackballed in some form of fashion. Look at Monique. And I think until Black Hollywood create their own Hollywood, not Tyler Perry. Look, yes, he's doing great. He's opened doors, but shout out to Christian Keys. Though there has to be a way to create your own without trying to beg from the validation of these white producers and these white executives. Like, why can't they come together, Black people, the Black people in Hollywood, why can't they come together and figure out their own Hollywood and put money behind that collectively? Like, what? I just think we have to get to a point at some point in our time here on Earth, in this side of the world, you know, in this realm, we have to come to a point and be our own bosses. I'm just tired of this. They didn't let me in the door. They didn't give me a seat at their table. Create your own table. You know, create your own table so that you don't have to even worry or wonder why you weren't invited or why you didn't get paid enough. I don't know. Hopefully that can happen at some point soon. But let's move on. So let's get into this Gayle King $4,000 situation. Ciao. Let's talk about this. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip and we're gonna talk about it. Let's start again. I hate when, like, let me see if I can find it on Twitter and then play it from there so I could easily skim. Is it this one? Not that one. Okay, so Gayle King came forward on a podcast, the same podcast that I don't think I ever talked about that story of Simone Biles and her husband and how he's talking about how he's surprised. He is. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all thought I would say something different? Y'all thought I would say something different? Okay, is it this one? Let's play this one. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is just how it starts. That's so weird. I hate when it starts like that. Oh, let's try this one. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. So let me go ahead and share the screen. Again, make sure you are following this on YouTube so you could watch along. Okay, so Gayle King came forward and talked about how she gave a man who she was dating just 2 months for just 2 months, and she gave him $4,000. He asked her for this amount, and she gave it to him. I mean, shout out to her. I feel like if you're at a point in your life in which you could just quickly give someone that amount, then you're doing pretty well. If you did get scammed, because I think she did, I think she got scammed. It didn't really hurt, right? May have hurt your ego just a little bit, but did it really hurt your pockets? I'm sure you got that back in tenfold. Just my opinion. But this is the interesting story. I mean, let's bring it back to me. Why not? So, years ago, when I used to go on these dating apps, I matched with a guy who was on the same app, and like we would kiki on the app and over the phone before we finally met. Okay, we meet in person. Even back then, I don't know what's sometimes I don't think I could get killed or something. The first time we hung out, I went over his house, well, his apartment. You have no worth. You should demand for him to take you out to Del Frisco's. Okay, at the time I didn't. Does that mean I didn't? No, at the time, I think at the time, I was just kind of seeing what was going on. Hello? Do you know? Can you catch my drift? I was just kind of like out here, you know? So this whole like I'm just not into that whole pomp and circumstance. No, I just want to chill. That's just how I am. It has nothing to do with me lacking self-worth. Cut that shit. Moving forward. Just want to say that. Okay, cool. So we hang out, yada yada yada. Literally as I'm leaving, he texts me and then he says, or he asked me if he could borrow money. Oh, he asked if he could borrow money for gas. And I was like, he asked if he could borrow money for gas. He asked if he could get, I think it was like $40 or whatnot. I don't know about $40 for gas because he didn't have the money to get by. I blocked him. Yeah, I blocked him. Because I couldn't have given him the money. I think it was because it's the audacity for me. And I just was so turned off by it. Like, first of all, we didn't even go out. Like, the money that we saved or that you saved from not taking me out to eat, that was your gas money. Hello? That was your gas money. I actually saved you money. So what do you mean? Can I get some gas money? Huh? Child, this was years ago, like I said. And I bring this up to say, we all have our moments when we're down and out. I'm not trying to shame him for that, but I think sometimes there's a time that's appropriate to ask someone new for money. I do feel like when you're in a relationship with someone, right? If you guys have already built this level of trust, of comfort, vulnerability, you should be able to comfortably discuss money. Like, it's totally fine if my man asks me for some money. Like, that's totally fine. Vice versa. Like, that's not a big deal now. But considering that man back then, it was the first day. Gayle King, it was after 2 months. That's a little bit better. But the first day, anyway, let's move on. Let's hear this.
Look at your code. Look at your friends with Oprah. You know, a guy looks at that and goes, I can't compete with that. But my thing, it's not a matter of competing. I'm not looking for somebody to compete. You want somebody who has a sense of humor, who's very secure, who's not intimidated by whatever all of this is, that just sees you for you. You know, I went on a date and I was really excited, very excited about it. We had gone out maybe 2 months, and then he said he really needed to talk to me.
That right there. That right there. Stop it right there. Stop the track. Whenever someone starts off, oh my gosh, I really need to talk to you. I really need to talk to you. Like, they increase that level of anxiety. You're feeling stressed immediately. It's urgent. I need it right now. Scam. It's giving scam. It's giving you played me. It's giving I fell for it. But hey, I'm Gayle King. I can make this $4,000 right now. I can make that tenfold. So that's what it's giving, because I've watched too many Tinder swindler Dateline 2020 to not know a scam when I see one. You know what I mean? Like, that is so obvious. Why are you increasing this level of anxiety in me? Because the purpose is to manipulate my feelings. The purpose is to make me believe this is a dire need and it needs to be done right here, right now. I can't wait another day. Excuse me. I can't wait another day. I need the money right now. I can't wait until next Friday. I can't wait until the 15th. Shout out to the 15th, the last of the month. I love and hate those days just because, you know, it's payday, but then it's like, oh wait, the money is immediately gone. I gotta pay this bill right at that time. God. But, you know, so that's the point. Like, there's manipulation in that. How can I make you feel so worried and stressed about this? Oh, let me tell you, I need to talk to you right now. I need to talk to you right now. Why right now? Why? What if Gayle was to say, actually, I'm really tied up right now. I'm really busy right now. Let me call you back in about a day. You know, let me call you back later. That intensity suddenly would have been figured out. You know, so sometimes we get so caught up in the emotion of it that we don't realize the scam. We don't realize the scam. Gayle, you were being scammed. Okay, let's continue. So she's being scammed. He tells her this. She says this.
You want to have a private conversation? Okay, sure. What is it? Do you think you could lend me $4,000?
I say? You said what? You said what? $4,000.
And I'm like, oh God.
And so I feel like her instant response should have been enough for her to say, no, I don't feel too comfortable giving you that money at this stage in our relationship. But I wish you the best. I don't know. But like, she could have led with that, you know?
He jumped out with 4,000 out the gate. Though?
I know. It's so
He didn't
funny.
test the water?
You know what Oprah said? Oprah said, God, I would have felt better if he had said $40,000.
You just went in your purse.
That's how you know she's rich. They're looking at $4,000 like it's not a big deal. Like, no, to the everyday person, $4,000 is a lot of money. But to them, of course, they're of that upper echelon. That's $4. $4. Okay, that's what it is to them.
Here you go. Here you go. Get out of here.
I don't carry cash. But,
He just asked you to cash app him now.
huh?
You just could have cashed apped him now.
I know, God.
I don't think she could have though, because isn't there a cap to how much you could cash app? Actually, no, I think the cap is 10,000. I think, but anyway.
Guys, but I was so crushed because here's somebody who was making, 6 figures, successful. And when I said, could I ask what it's for? He said, yeah.
Now, that's another thing. He was making 6 figures. Huh? He was making 6 figures? How? Gayle, what was he doing? Gayle, he was making what? 6 figures of what? 6 figures of lies, of scamming, of Tinder swindling. 6 figures of what? No, he was not. That's another lie. How you making? I'm not saying as soon as you're making 6 figures, you have instant access to any some amount of money. No, but I think at the very least, you could have arranged a payment plan to meet that amount that you're asking for so that you wouldn't have to ask a Gayle King. So he wasn't making 6 figures. He wasn't. He didn't have a successful job. Or he does, which is scamming you. Gayle, you got scammed. You got scammed. You got scammed. And I feel so sorry that she's not even aware of that. And I don't know if they got into that realization later on.
It was for
But we'll see.
a child support issue and to pay a payment on some furniture. And Oprah goes, oh God, this is just getting worse.
Now, look, I know a lot of men get a bad rap when it comes to child support, when it comes to any dealings with an ex-woman of theirs and the child that they have together. So, okay, maybe the child support situation may be a legitimate excuse. But for him to mention furniture also being a reason, it's like, oh my God, it's so awkward.
And I said, okay. And he said, this was Sunday. And he said, I promise I'll pay you back by Thursday. I promise I'll pay you.
Boom. That right there. That right there. I promise I'll pay you back by Thursday. So let's say he asked for the money on Monday. And now he's saying he could pay her back on that coming Thursday. What does that tell you? In the comments, leave your response. What does that tell you? That he had the money all along, that he was scamming her to get more money. Cut it out. How are you able to pay me back instantly, but you're not able to pay that amount on your own? That doesn't make sense. How can you pay? What? So what money are you using to pay me back with? Why can't you use that same amount to pay towards or in full the amount that you're requesting from me? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, was there a red flag, an alarm, a beeping sound, alert coming on her head? That's a clear giveaway. I'll pay you back. Let's talk about this scamming nigga who I used to talk to years ago, back in Boston. Child, I've been talking about these stories and so long. I just feel so far removed. But, when it when it applies, you gotta let it fester, let it fly, whatever. So he's from Chicago, actually. No, so he is from Chicago. Well, yeah, whatever. We met on the street. Okay, maybe that's a sign too. But anyway, we connected. Whatever. I thought he was super funny, and at the time, I was so caught up in like, oh, the sign. Because we actually met twice, and I didn't think he was gonna remember me, but we like connected again. So I just thought, oh my gosh, the angels have something to do with us reconnect. I was just all into that dumbass shit. Anyway, I don't think he actually remembered me. I think he just kind of went along with the flow after I told him, hey, you don't remember that we met already? I brought it up, and I think he just played along because niggas go nig, right? Anyway, he told me he worked his own business and he had an office space that he rented out at a building somewhere in Boston downtown. I'm in his car at this time, and in his car you see a whole setup. Like there's, how in a police car there's a setup where the iPad or the computer is like set on the console, and there's a whole department, there's a department head, is this office space, sir? Sorry, is the bathroom nearby? Do I take a left? It was just so weird. I was in his car, but I felt like I was in his office space. So when he told me he had an office space in downtown, I'm like, but what is this? What is this? Anyway, so needless to say, he ended up asking me for money like a day later, talking about he needs some money in order to maintain his office space. What? And I was super young. I think I was like fresh out of college, not high school. I was fresh out of undergrad, and I was just like, oh, okay, I like him. Oh, maybe okay, I could do it. I was like, I instantly said yes. At the time, me and my cousins and my sister, we all was in a group chat together. And I was telling them about him, and they were like, girl, no, he's a scammer. Like, immediately my bubble was popped. I'm like, have I been scammed? Or am I about to be scammed? So I texted him, because as soon as my cousins made me realize, and my sister made me realize, yeah, this guy is a little red flaggish. He's a little red flaggish. First of all, what does he do? I couldn't even give them a straight answer because I didn't really understand what it was. I just knew that he had an office space that he said he had, even though his car was an office space. His front seat is the office space. Okay. And then he's talking about, he needs money to maintain his office space. Which I don't think that was the case. I think he just needed money to help pay his rent. Because when I went over his house, he was living with a roommate, and they both look sketchy. I don't know why I did this. Praise God, I never was in a situation where I was violated, put in a corner. Like, I don't know how. When I think back to all of my experiences in close quarters with men, it was because I foolishly thought it was okay and safe enough to go to this stranger danger man's house for the first time of meeting him, not expecting anything crazy to happen. Like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Thank God nothing happened to me. Like, I'm just thinking about it. Thank God. Ooh, I'm just thinking about that. That sounds so scary. But anyway, please don't do as I did. Do as I say. I'm here to clear you up, lead you the right path. Okay, so yeah, went over his house. It just looked like a struggle not every time. That one time, I think I only went there twice actually. And it just looked sketchy. It looked off. It looked unfurnished, just unkept, you know? So this whole like $500. Yeah. So anyway, he wanted $500. I said yes initially until I spoke to my cousins and they made me realize this nigga's a scammer. Leave and run now. So I did as they told. And I texted him and I was like, hey, you know, I just don't feel too comfortable lending you this amount of money this early on. I just feel like it's too early in our relationship, you know, for me to do that. So hold on, let's pause there. Another scam. So we went on a date. Our first date, we went to this like nice spot. I mean, it was cute. It was a seafood spot in Dedham. I remember. Yeah, in Dedham. And it's a city in Boston, like a smaller city in Boston. Anyway, those who know. So we went to like this, it was like the Dedham Plaza area. I'm like literally remembering it right now. Oh my gosh, such a long time ago. Oh, what memories I have. So we go there. We're seated. It's a nice establishment. I'm looking cute. He's looking all right. It's fine. We're eating the food. He's laughing a lot. Now look, I do think I'm funny. I do. I think I could go up there, right? You know, but I don't think I'm that funny. I don't think every word I say should be received with a hysterical laugh. I find that to be a little off. Like, what are you laughing about? What just happened? He was laughing at everything I said. Everything I said, he laughed. Like, like so funny. He would rub my hand down, super affectionate. And I was attracted to him. So I was like, okay, this is cute. Oh my gosh. Like, he likes me too. And he's into me too. Like, again, I was super young then. So I was just so into it. I was so into it. He then pulls out money to pay for our meal, right? He pulls out the money, is a wad of cash from his sock. The sock that he's wearing. He pulls out the wad of cash and pays the bill. He didn't pull out a wallet. He didn't have like no, he pulled out money from his sock. That's a red flag. Are you scamming for a living? Are you drug dealing? Like, what's going on? Like, it just all came off very illegitimate, very suspicious, very alerting. Anyway, so I texted him talking about, you know, I'm very diplomatic. Yeah, so I said, you know, I don't think I feel too comfortable lending you this amount of money this early on in our relationship. He instantly had an attitude. He instantly started cussing at me via text, very childish. He said, let me tell you what he said to me. Let me tell you what this nigga said to me. I'm actually going to play what he said to me. Yep, I'm going to play what he said to me. Let's go ahead. That's what he said. Do I need to play it again? Do I need to play it again? That's what this nigga said to me.
Yeah, they say your pussy stank. Is that the truth? It don't. Yes, it do. Yes, it does. Yes, it do.
I mean, look, I can laugh about it now because that's just funny. It's funny. Now, did my pussy stink at the time? I don't know. Still ate me out. The fuck. But the point, I think at the time I was kind of dealing with like yeast infection, so maybe it did. I mean, I'll be honest, whatever. So what? So what? I'm a woman. The fuck, we go through moments. But the point is, it's not about my pussy stinking. It's not about that. It's about your reaction to me saying to you very politely, hey, I don't feel too comfortable loaning you this amount of money. And your response is that? That was enough. Again, I was immediately popped from my delusional bubble that I was living in. And that was the relationship. That was it. It ended as soon as it began. So praise God. I mean, praise God, it ended. Shout out to Gayle King. Because yes, I feel like him saying, oh, $4,000, I could pay you back in 3 days. That would have been enough for me to feel like, yeah, this doesn't sound right.
Thursday, okay. But I wrote it because I thought it had to be very difficult for him to ask me. And so I wrote it, and I just.
And that's very kind. Honestly, that's very kind of her. I know she got scammed, and maybe she's realizing this now. I don't know how soon or how long ago this was. I don't know, but at her big ass age, I hope she didn't get scammed. I mean, no shame. Getting scammed is not exclusive to a particular age, but I mean, come on, ma'am, come on.
Figured that would be that. That would be that. And he did pay me back on Thursday, but I didn't feel the same. I didn't feel the same.
And there we have it. You don't feel the same after you pay a man $4,000 when he said, oh, I could give it back to you in 3 days. So that means you have the money? That's what that means. That means you have that means you have a pyramid scheme. That means you have another woman who you ask for money and you use her money to pay back Gayle while you pocketed the money that you got from Gayle. There was some type of scamming going on. So there we have it. You've been scammed. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, you guys. Make sure you are subscribed. You tell a friend to tell a friend. You leave a positive review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube. And I will check in with you all next time. Peace.